Welcome, everybody. John Zager, good morning. Welcome. It's really a nice day here in Colorado. It's Tuesday, 63 degrees, skies are clear, and looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. It's supposed to get up into the mid 70s. Yeah, mid 70s. That's what it was yesterday. Actually, it's supposed to be higher than that. 78 today, I think. Cool. Good topic today. So maybe we'll just get right into it. I have the truck running a little bit, so I'll shut it off in a little while. I hope it's not making too much noise. The earbuds that I was using yesterday gave a distorted sound, and I didn't. I like them, but the sound is not good, so we will not use those again. I'm going to go back to my iPhone earbuds here shortly. I just have to get some covers for them, head covers for those, and we'll go back to those, and then everything will be fine. But today's topic, this is going to be kind of a series, off and on. I'm going to touch on it here in the next while, several days, because I think it's just that important. And I've been listening to Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's a guy who used to teach med school. I don't know where he was, Minnesota, Wisconsin, somewhere back there. Had tenure for years and years and years. Used to teach stuff around genes, and your life depended on the genes that were in your family because they would eventually catch up with you. He came to the realization in his lab that genes have nothing to do with disease. So, environment, belief system, perceptions, modeling, what you were taught, has a huge impact on what happens to you in a lot of different ways, but illness, sickness, disease, that sort of thing. And so, just to go back and touch on this momentarily, just short, for a very short time, from your mother's third trimester through age 6, so, some people say 7 years of your life, the first 6-7 years of your life, your personality is formed, how you think, act, and feel. Your belief systems are formed, and your perceptions are formed. The Jesuits, way back when, I forget exactly the years, but, they say, give me your kid for the first 7 years, and I will make him a believer of whatever I want. Whether he be Catholic or, Protestant or Jewish or, it doesn't matter about, religion is just one example, but you program a child the first 6 or 7 years of their life. They're in theta, brainwave, hypnosis. So they are absorbing 100% of what they see and hear. Okay? So, Dr. Bruce Lipton has a little YouTube. He has a lot of YouTube stuff out there, but please go listen to the one today. I believe it's with an interview over in London, and it's superb. Just superb. It answers every question that you have. If you're willing to play it over 6 or 7 times, you will hear something different and an answer to what you're looking for if you will listen each time. It has something different each time. But it's phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And the little 3.5, 4 minute YouTube thing today is strictly where I'm going. I'm picking up from regarding, it's time to change your program. Here's what he says. I'm just going to say what he says. And again, it could be 1,000 different examples. But this one is very good. It's like a little child, I don't know, a couple, 2, 3 years old, whatever, it doesn't matter, with his mom at the park and on the swing and, swinging and falls off the swing. The child is totally tuned in to the parents, guardian, and looks to the parent for the answers on how to react to situations. That's being programmed, okay? That's part of being programmed. So the little kid falls off the swing. Immediately, before it starts crying or being good or whatever it is, looks at the mother, and if the mother is frantic and has this horrible expression on her face and is terrified and may scream or cry or whatever, what do you think the little kid's going to do? The little kid's going to start screaming and crying and wailing and just be scared to death, of the swing set. If the child looks at the mother and the mother just says, get back up and get on the swing, in a tone of voice that's reassuring, the little kid will not cry, will not be frightened. The little kid will, dust off the back of his pants or her pants and hop back up on the swing and have fun. What a lesson about life. What a program the mother is instilling in that child. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So, everything we do in our life, 95% is from our program. So, it's not even hard to believe, you guys. 5% of your daily activity is you being creative. Thinking, your conscious brain. The example, and there's again 1,000 different examples. If I were to say to you, what are you doing next Thursday? You have to get out of your program and you have to go inside and think, let's see, what am I doing on Thursday? That's nothing that was programmed in you. That's a conscious thought you're now having. Yeah? All the other time in your day, it's the program of what you were taught, the belief systems you were taught, the perceptions you were left with, the modeling you saw, all of that stuff for the first 7 years of your life was imprinted. It became a program. That by the age 35, it became so hardwired, you could not change it. Nor did you ever think about changing it. So I'm in a different park with a different lake in town here, and it's a beautiful, beautiful park. I might start coming over here more often, but there's a bunch of geese, Canadian geese, and everybody knows that, the geese have, their little gooselings this time of the year. And the mom and the dad, male and female, mate for life with Canada geese. And when they fly synchronized. Their wings all flap in the same fashion and manner and pattern. So there's 2, 3 sets of parents here, Canada geese with all their little babies, and they're chasing them around, and you can see them disciplining some of them, and other ones kind of are more independent. And, the little ones are just paying really close attention to mom and dad. Modeling. These little baby geese, what do they call them, gooselings, are being programmed. So here's nature, here's the universe, here's nature. Right in front of me, I didn't think this was going to happen. But it's a movie. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Not only in humans, but in other animals. The babies are programmed. For humans, it's the first 6, 7 years of life. Their personalities are formed. I don't know how long it is for these little baby geese, but they are being programmed right in front of me as I watch. So, let's take it to the next step. The next logical step says, if you're having a good life, remember yesterday we were talking about, maybe you don't need a wake-up call. Maybe you just have a good life. Okay? So, today what I'm saying is that, when you think about your life, if things come to you fairly easily, right? Your life is good. Your life is okay. That means that your programming is good. I wrote a couple things down here. If things are going well and easy in your life, then the program that you were given supports that conclusion. I'll give you an example. Hang on. Here's the opposite. If the program doesn't, if you're having difficulties or struggles in your life, then the program doesn't support that conclusion. and you're trying to override the program. Okay? So we have two different people. One's struggling, one's not struggling. Let's get an example. Let's just use money. It's pretty non-emotional. So you grow up in a family that has lack. And mom and dad understand that the way you get ahead is matter changes matter. What that means is, in regards to money in your family, is that mom and dad work both, and they work long hours and maybe multiple jobs. And they're constantly stressed out over finances and never having enough money. Right? Pretty simple. That's your program. That's your program. So by the age 35, you've had this imprinted, to where it's become so hardwired that it's difficult to change it, and your life is a struggle financially. You live in lack. All you know is lack, financially. What you understand is your program. Your program says to you, go work multiple jobs. Matter changes matter. And it'll take you a lifetime to get ahead. And even though you work multiple jobs, you will continue to struggle financially. Because why? Well, number one, you're probably working for minimum wage. Minimum wage is not for you to live on and support a family. You're always going to struggle if you're working on minimum wage. You may be giving up better positions, believing you're not qualified. Part of the program, having watched mom and dad. Maybe their jobs were not in management, running a business, owning a business, making financial decisions in their company. Maybe all their jobs were menial. Low-paying jobs, right? That's your program. That's your program. That's what you understand. That's how you live your life. You were not taught money management. You were not modeled money management. You did not see abundance. You did not see the family doing well, and mom, dad, and or both, or whoever, teaching you how to get ahead in your life financially. You didn't get a course in wealth. I wrote a book about this some years back. empowerment. Fascinating book. But here's the thing. I went to school. I went to a private Jesuit high school and college, actually, and graduate school. But that's another story. I'll talk about that some other time. And going to that high school, there were some extremely wealthy kids that came from very affluent families where the mom or dad or both or whoever owned, a business or worked prestigious jobs, and they lived in beautiful homes and drove nice cars, and they had abundance. And they were modeled all of that, and they were taught all of that and how to get it. When they came to high school, of course they went to a private Jesuit high school. Never, ever, ever did I see any one of them struggle. They were stars in sports. They were on junior varsity, starting team, state champs. They excelled in school. I never saw them struggle. Now, reality is reality. I mean, did they struggle? Sure. Yeah, of course. I was a kid. I was just observing as another kid. But, and as I followed the people through high school, now into their later years, you get that little newspaper that tells you about what everybody's doing. They all succeeded and have been extremely successful in their careers. And again, we're talking about financial and just otherwise, I guess. They did very, very well. The other people who came to that private Jesuit high school also grew up like I did in lack and only understood that matter changes matter. And, their families struggled as they struggled. And when they were in high school with me, they weren't in any sports at all. And they stayed in detention after school more often than not. And they struggled. They were clearly not affluent, and everything had become hardwired. They did not hang out with wealthy kids because they didn't understand that mindset. And wealthy kids did not hang out with kids of lack because they did not understand that mindset. Sad. And as you read in the paper, the little newspaper they send you from the high school as you go through life, the kids with lack ended up in living tragic lives. Actually, several of them are long since dead. Somehow, directly or indirectly, it has to do with the program, but that's another story, another time. So, the program impacts you more than you can imagine. And what I did when I started school is I started playing the middle ground. I certainly understood lack, and I certainly could see abundance. And I found something in the middle for me, something in the middle. And I decided to have a career. I was at a turning juncture. I had a buddy, a Jewish buddy. He was a good friend, and he and I were the same age, and we were getting ready to take our tests for whatever careers and schools we wanted to go into. And he said, John, I'm going to be a lawyer. My father's a lawyer. It's a good job. I think you would make a good lawyer. Come and take the test with me, and let's go to law school together. And I had so much hurt and pain that I chose psychology because it would help me better understand what I was going through. Yeah? And that's the track I took. He of course went on to become a prominent attorney and making enormous sums of money and helping people too. So, programs. We're programmed to be the way we are. I don't know if this is a fair statement or not, but I don't think it's, let me see if I get this correct. I don't think it's this person or that person's fault that they have a program that's not working for them and their life is a struggle. I don't think they got up one morning and said, I'm just going to make my life a struggle, be poor, live in the back of my truck, and retire penniless. I just don't think it's their fault. I think they got bad programming. And the answer, here's the fascinating part of the whole thing. The answer is not psychology, which I went into and have been doing that in neuroscience for 43 years. The answer is not going to counseling or therapy or psychotherapy, as I talked about yesterday and many other days before. It's about science, neuroscience. Change your program. You don't have to sit there for 3 to 5 years and cry and sob about all the hurt and pain you've gone through and witnessed. It's the program that was wrong. Okay? Neuroscience can explain things through education and training. Go to workshops, Dr. Joe Dispenza obviously runs workshops that teach neuroscience and how to change your programming. Period. Some people do it in a matter of minutes. Some take hours, some take days, weeks, months, years. Doesn't matter. Nobody's up there going through psychotherapy. They just change their program. The program's not working. And again, we're just sticking to, finances and lack and abundance and finances, money. That's all we're using as our example this morning, but maybe we'll use a different one another day. But you're trying to override your program if you're living in lack and having struggle in your life. And you're trying to override it with no knowledge, with no education, with no training. All right, let me go back and say that again. You're trying to override your program of lack. Being poor, living in the back of your truck, trying to make matter change matter, whatever, working multiple jobs. You're trying to change your program, your subconscious program that runs your life 95% of the day with no education, no training. Don't have to go to therapy to figure that out. Science will teach you how to override the program. And you may acquire that knowledge in a matter of minutes and retain it and process it and filter it, and your life can become better that fast. Or maybe it'll take a few days or a few hours or whatever the case might be. Doesn't matter. So education, this is just a sidebar, right? Education doesn't teach you how to make money. Some programs that you get from your parents, meaning, what I'm trying to say is, some parents will teach you how to make money. Some programs you get from your parents, they don't know how to make money, so how can they teach you how to make money? There's a guy on the internet. He's a kid, younger kid. It's worth, I don't know, millions of dollars. He's one example. Tony Robbins is another one. He came from poverty and lack and had bad programming. And here's what the two of them did. And they talk about it. And it's the answer. This is simple. They went and found mentors. Not one, several, many, multitudes of them. And they sat down with them. And they listened to them. And they asked them questions. And they processed the information they were given. And they did that until they changed their program. from lack to abundance. So, huge podcast today. Huge. We're going to do this one over again a time or two with different examples and different scenarios. It's the answer. It's why you're listening to me. I just think we can get a lot of people really well, really fast, if we can change our programs. God bless everybody. Take care of one another. I really look forward to talking to you again real soon. See you. Bye.